have with us a very special guest. We have Melle with us, Melle from Polo's Pantry. Hi, Melle.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Hey, Sonia.
Woo, 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 woo!
Hey, Jenny. Hey, everyone. Good
So
seeing
yeah,
you guys.
we wanted to bring you on, Melle, because well, obviously because you're the bomb, but also good for people to just get to know you more,
Okay.
and just if you could just share a little bit about how you got started and doing this work, and were you
Wow.
always like into food justice? How did you, come up to be who you are today?
Oh my goodness, that's a big question. Wow. Oh my God. There's like so many entry points. But one thing that's been coming up for me recently, especially when folks yeah, the most recent interviews I've been talking more about my dad and like how like that's some really deep roots of how I got here. So just some background. My I lost We lost my dad about 15 years ago from complications from diabetes. And I think then, like, even, like I decided to go back to school and get my master's in public health and like started to really kind of to kind of public health. And also at the time it was mostly like public health stuff. Like I wasn't like fully focused on food yet. I was just trying to figure out like how do we address that, because diabetes obviously like kind of steamrolls through like immigrant communities, and I just kind of I think wanted a way to help other people like have their dads live longer. I think like if I really were to kind of like unpack all that. And so I started to kind of work with different nonprofits. I did a food workshop with my friends over at FOSG, which is like the Filipino American service group in a historic Filipino town. And so myself and like two of my other friends, Filipinas as well, we did like a course, like an 8-week food history course on Filipino food. And our cohort was multi generational. We had like elders and grad students, high school students. At the time we really were like, oh, is this going to be too crazy, is this too ambitious? It actually turned out to be like probably one of the best projects I've ever worked on, because it like intersected everything that I was interested in, which is like my history, my cultural background, and just like studying the history of Filipino food, studying history of like socioeconomic, like sort of factors that tie into um food access as a Filipino American, that kind of stuff. And so from there I think like that just kind of completely fired me up. um I mean, I was already kind of doing community work and food justice stuff since high school. Like really love working at soup kitchens. um I was working in the kitchen, like I was volunteering in the Union Rescue Mission kitchen, like probably like a decade ago. That was kind of my first brush with like Skid Row. And it just sort of like kind of amplified from there. But I felt like every like volunteer opportunity I looked for was related to food, like working in the kitchen or working with um any kind of project that had to deal with food access and bringing healthy food to communities, especially immigrant communities. And so kind of fast forward to, I would say, about 4 years ago is when I really kind of hammered home, like really focusing on working with like our unhoused communities. I started organizing with folks in Skid Row, and that's kind of how my network grew, of just working with other nonprofits, working with grocers, working with different companies, food companies, restaurants, whatever that would that I could rescue food from, because I figured out a lot of the groups, grassroots like organizations and groups like K-Town for All, Street Watch, everyone was like spending too much money on food on their budgets. And so I'm like, there's got to be a way for us to get this donated or, you know, get it sourced. And so that's kind of how Polo's Pantry was born. And so now, kind of fast forward to now, um, uh, like Homie Made really was born just from like sitting on the couch over at like Alex's and Ray's and Kyle's house. We just really like it was just me and Alex really kind of talking about how we can help, what we can do um during this period. And so now it's grown into this incredible movement that is completely powered by like all of you, which has been incredible. Like it's been amazing to even like hear the conversations and like even like just like within my coalition of just how much like you guys have done, and just it's been amazing. So I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have any questions, but I feel like that's kind of the gist for me. Is I feel like it's mostly rooted in family.
Hey Mel, it's Ray.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Hey Ray.
I hello. I wanted to, because I know that we can talk. Like if you everybody just clicks on the links, you can see everything that Mel does, and you can go to like the Eayikes. Just go to the Eayikes IG. You'll see Mel all over there, and like her DNA of like what you've done. And I think for us, one thing that is big and what we love to do is like that you are able to serve with joy and that you're able
Yeah.
to do it with like grace, because a lot of this work can be tough, right? A lot of this work can be draining on people. Like what's one thing that you would say that helps you keep your joy, that
Mhm.
you lead, how do you continually lead with that love and spirit?
Oh my gosh, what a great question. You guys are so good. Like you guys keep me so grounded. Honestly, it's that. It's the folks that you serve with. You guys really kind of keep me. I'm so grateful to be surrounded by Eayikes and surrounded by you guys and just really and folks like Danny, right? Like I feel like what keeps me going is gosh, that's such a good question. Community, really. Like making sure that we're all supporting each other. And I think that's what it is. Like even the small moments of just like um, like oh my god, see like hi Lex. even like friends who like that's it too. Like even small moments of just like, talking to, like just kind of talking to our friends, just even for like 5 minutes. Like Lex Roman, she's amazing. Hi Lex, I love you. Like just all my friends who are so supportive of each other. And I think that's the fuel really of this work. Is like you're not alone in it. And even though we all have like our lane, like for me, I just figured out my lane is food. But everyone can, can kind of like plug it. And I think that's one thing that I love telling folks is like find that thing. Find that thing that drives you, because this work is so long. Like we don't know when we're gonna, when it's gonna end. So it's important for us to find something that really kind of drives us forward. And I think it's really like understanding that we're not in this alone. We're surrounded by incredible people that want the best and like a better LA, a better world, really. And so that's really the fuel for me. Like you guys, Pete White, like Monique, you know what I mean? Like General Dogon, like every single one, Jane at K Town, Mike, Sharon, like every single person that is in this work with us. Um, just those little moments, I think the community itself like keeps me going, and my family and my loved ones, everyone.
Sure. Yeah, I think one thing just like that, like for people they just kind of understand is like this is like you're the face of somebody that does a lot of work in LA, right? So if people are thinking like, how do I help? How do I get involved? Like the idea that look at Mel and like listen to Mel talk and and hear that, and like hopefully that's a call for the community to be like, I'm gonna find my lane, like you said, and I think one thing for us personally that we always talked about was like the idea of doing things with like joy and childlike wonder. And then
Hmm.
when you move into work that is helping, like helping those that are undervalued in our society, that aren't taken care of by those that, as they should be, that by the people that are running our governments, that are running our systems, and like how that can seem daunting, but to be reinforced and to see the way that you do it, I think that's something like we're constantly talking about, and
Oh,
that
you
we just
guys
want
are
to share.
like,
So
I
thank
mean,
you.
oh gosh, thank you. You guys, I think what's important for people to know is you guys brought the army. You guys brought people power, like completely in the clearest way possible. And I hope that someday, and probably soon, we can show people how we can replicate this. Like how we can show people how it can be done because you guys completely did it. Really what we did was, we created a model to kind of basically like replicate what I was doing, but just do it like in a way that's just citywide. And just to even understand how we were able to do that together is mind blowing sometimes to even think about that. When I tell folks, when I'm in the meeting, or when I tell folks like the amount of meals that homie made has
Yeah.
just as a network has done, it's mind blowing sometimes to me to think about that. Where like Alex and I were like, oh, maybe we'll do like 50 or
Yeah.
100. Like it was
Yeah.
hilarious from like such like a small quantity to just completely blowing our own minds every single week.
Yeah.
And even like the logistics and operations team behind this, like everyone, like Jenny and Sonia and like Lucas, every single one of you
Mhm.
who really brought your A game to this, and even like went above and beyond like what we even envisioned in the beginning. It's just really like kind of like the truest like kind of like love of this work, and I'm so grateful for all of you. You guys are just
Mm.
killing it. Like just so proud of every single one of you, and I hope that um we can continue to support each other. Like we
Yeah.
can continue to keep building bridges, keep building. If there's something that you guys see that we're doing that you feel we can improve on, just say it. How can we improve on that? Like we all should really be open to, and we are. I feel like that's what I love about EX is that as a collective, it feels like everyone's so open to learning from each other
Mm.
constantly. And I think that's something that um, Alex and I kind of talked about with Theo, where we nourish each other's connection, right?
Yeah.
Like this whole work is really built on partnerships and relationships.
Mhm.
And if we don't take care of them, the work doesn't go forward. The work that
Mm.
can't move forward. We need each other. Like
Mhm.
like like there's crucial work that like say um I'm gonna use example of like coalition, like the People City Council, or like Keaton for All does something different, or you know what I mean, like ground game or no Olympics. um like every single one has almost like even a specialty too, and so like it's beautiful to even be in this moment where we're seeing as activists, we're seeing every single one just sort of like as a collective like working together, and I'm just so grateful that we're just part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Well,
So
thank you for bringing that piece
yeah,
to bringing the purpose to the joy
yeah,
to
yeah,
serve.
yeah.
And in terms of getting people connected to
Thank you.
Mel,
Yeah,
we're gonna
of
do a
course.
quick little thing, Mel. So we're gonna do just a little thing called 2 minute interview.
Okay.
Okay, this real simple. I'm just gonna start my watch here. We've got 2 minutes. All I want you to do is
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you questions for 2 minutes. Just just
I'm
do the first
nervous.
thing that comes to
Okay.
your mind. Okay. And if you're watching right now,
Okay.
give Mel the love.
Okay.
Just send it over to Mel. Just let Mel just jump all up in it, and it's just gonna be nice and easy. 2 minutes, Mel. We're gonna get
Okay.
to know the lovely Mel. Why everybody loves Mel. All right, Mel, are you ready? Here we go. If you need to close your eyes and
Yeah,
tap
I'm
in, you can
ready.
do that too. So don't worry. Here we go, Mel.
Okay.
Here
All
we
right.
go. On your marks, get set, Go. What's the most meals you've ever held in your car at once?
Oh my God. Whole 200?
Wow. Okay. What do you love about your mom?
Oh gosh, she's my rock.
What's your favorite dessert?
Oh, mango with sticky rice.
What's the most adventurous thing you've ever eaten?
Octopus taco at this bomb like taco place in DC. Like that's it was so good. Yep.
I was gonna ask you, but I got to keep going. How do you self-care?
Whew. I'm still learning. Like trying to turning Twitter off. Like it's the biggest thing. Like turning social media off. But like reading, that's kind of boring. But I love to read, so that's my self-care.
If you could be any animal for a day, what would you be?
An otter.
Yeah. Yes. What? Who's a voice that people need to listen to more?
Ooh, wow. Holy cow. Oh, okay. Well, in the food justice world, her name is Monica White. She wrote this book called Freedom Farmers. I probably will like tweet a link or share a link to her book, but her book blew my mind. Like she's amazing. And if people ask me how I frame food justice stuff, it's mostly from her book. Yeah.
All right. Well, does pineapple belong on pizza?
I want to be like a Pacific Islander on this, but like sometimes yes, but it's not really. Generally no.
Generally no. Okay. What's a song you've been dancing to or you love to dance to?
Oh my God. Oh wow. I love music, so no, that's a hard one. Anything by Little Dragon.
Ah, yes, very
Little
nice.
Dragon.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Name 2 things you really love about yourself.
Wow, these are tough questions, Ray. Okay, so number 1, I would say I love that I'm like always down to learn. Like always, I'm super curious about everything. Like I am like insatiable learner. And I love to adventure. So adventuring is my favorite thing.
Yes. Why is it easy to weigh a fish?
Why is it easy to weigh a fish?
Yes. Why is it easy to weigh a fish?
Is this a joke? This is a trick
because they
question.
have their own scales. All right. All right. Mel, one last piece of advice. What's your message to the world? What do you want to tell the world? Go ahead.
Man. I just again, I think I love to evangelize. Find your thing and plug in because we need you. You know, we need you in this work. So.
Yes, thank you, Mel. We extended it a minute. That's a 3-minute interview with Mel.
Yay!
Thanks, Mel.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for coming on here.
I love you guys.
Yes,
I love
check
you guys
the chat.
So
you guys can tap in with Mel. You can message her. We have so many people talking about how they just DM Mel and she's answering them and she'll plug you in. You can find your lane. Mel will help you find your lane. Reach out to us. So thank you, Mel.
You guys.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you, Mel. Love you.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Thank you, Mel.
So much.
Yikes.
Fucking, you guys are the best.
Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.